Okay, guys, I'm here to talk to you about folate and its role that it has within the brain. So, folic acid can be converted into 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate, and it plays a huge role within the methylation component and its contribution towards both the methionine cycle as well as the bipyrin cycle. Now, in cases of folate deficiency, we notice a huge amount of discord going on with our neurochemistry, in particular, increase of depression, increase of likelihood of epilepsy, increase of misfiring, basically, of neural connections within the brain. Very interesting to take into account, though, is the integrity of the blood-brain barrier. You see, when our blood-brain barrier, its integrity is decreased due to, often more than not, high liberation of free fatty acids and inducing high amounts of lipid peroxidation. And this, in essence, over time, actually causes an increase of ethanol production as well, lowering the permeability aspect of the blood-brain barrier and thereby actually creating a deficiency in folinic or folate metabolism or folic acid within our brain itself. So why is this so important? Well, we need to utilize cobalamin for a whole host of reasons, from producing energy as well as managing the shunt or the shift between homocysteine and methionine. You see, so our methylcobalamin has a direct role in creating that impact of the conversion of 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate to tetrahydrofolate, and this has an impact as to how well we are able to change the production of homocysteine or take homocysteine and produce it into more available methionine. Why is this important? Well, the way in which to think about homocysteine is a precursor to glutathione production, cysteine, and then furthermore glutathione production, but it can also be extremely inflammatory to components in the brain. And the reason as to why this happens is initially inflammation actually creates a cause and reaction, or cause and effect. And the effect in this case would actually be the body's response to increasing more antioxidant production. Hence the reason through the metabolic steps that homocysteine gets converted into glutathione itself. Now, we want to be able to manage that and control that because, in contrast, methionine provides the right amount of donors for us to be able to produce epinephrine as well as to be able to produce melatonin. And both of these hormones have dramatically different aspects of activity in the body. However, they both also have a capacity to influence SIRT gene activity and FOXO gene activity, which plays a role in overall mitochondrial health as well as the preservation of the bases to our DNA structure. So, in order to optimize how we are able to utilize cobalamin and utilize folate, we need to ensure that our thiamine levels are sufficient. In cases whereby we have poor thiamine availability or concentration, blood-brain barrier permeability massively declines and becomes compromised. Not only does it become compromised, but so too does our capacity to regulate blood glucose utilization and flow to the brain also start to deteriorate as well. One of the biggest causative factors for thiamine deficiency, however, is actually linked once again to another component of folate metabolism, and that is the regulation of chloride, and in particular hydrochloric acid in the stomach. You see, if we aren't able to produce enough of an acidic environment, our absorption of E1 or thiamine massively declines too, and subsequently this has a negative impact onto other glucose modulatory systems such as the uridine tri and diphosphate systems as well. So why is this all linked and all important? Well, it's all to do with acids and bases, you see. So when we have a high amount of acids, in other words, induced by rapid rates of methylation, we also need to have enough bases to counteract that. And this can also be seen when we talk about or when we consider the difference between homocysteine and methionine, and the reactive balances need to take place in order for this shift or this complex of rotational shifts to happen in the best possible scenarios. Now, one of the most important factors that allows for the shift to happen in the best possible scenario is the actual activity and the production of cysteine coenzyme A. And what do we need in order to produce cysteine coenzyme A? Adenosylcobalamin. What do we need in order to utilize adenosylcobalamin effectively? Folinic acid. What do we need in order for folinic acid pathways to not be congested? Methionine synthase. So it all comes back down again to the health of the liver and the impact that it has on the health of the stomach. You see, if the liver is compromised, your stomach's ability to be able to regulate parietal cell, which are the cells that produce hydrochloric acid, release of hydrochloric acid becomes compromised, and so too does digestion become impacted and impaired, leading to a whole host of unwanted effects in the gastrointestinal tract, such as fermentation, leading into IBS, into SIBO, leading into dysbiosis, just to and even fungal and yeast overgrowth, which has a negative impact again on the amino acid utilization for neurotransmitter formation in the brain. Very, very important, again, with all of this in terms of the mineral utility. Selenium plays a huge, huge role in the processes of methylation. So does magnesium as well. And they play a huge role in the regulation of calcium. And calcium is so important for the nervous system in that it helps to either facilitate polarity or to help to reduce polarity. And it does this in concert with other amino acids such as glycine. So in essence, how active our nervous system is, as well as how active our endocrine system is, will dictate the reactions that we have toward integrating or establishing healthy cell membrane or cellular function as a whole. So when we think about cellular health, we really want to think about cause and effect. Cause of ATP production, effect of subsequent reaction to antioxidant production as well, to be able to neutralize the effects of the metabolism that can actually otherwise create havoc due to the increased production of superoxides, in addition to other oxidative elements such as peroxynitrates as well. So guys, if you are struggling with your concentration, mood, if you are struggling with poor libido, poor energy, chronic fatigue, if you're struggling with poor proprioception, muscular proprioception, if you're not getting stronger in the gym, if you're not able to lose body fat, all these things actually have a huge component to play in the subject of cause and effect to the capacity of methylation, to the capacity of acetylation and sulfation, and how they play a role in the body's ability to either induce methionine activity or homocysteine activity, and by the course of action to either be able to produce hormones that create the release of glucose, such as adrenaline, or antioxidants that help to neutralize the effects in the release of glucose, which is obviously one of the major contributing factors towards pyruvate production, as subsequently acetylcoenzyme production, which provides energy in our tricarbolic acid cycle and also an electron transport chain. So if you're looking to improve on your cellular health and you're looking to improve on the way in which you lose weight, gain muscle, concentrate, live a long, healthy life, not just a long life, but a long, healthy, and productive life, let's take a look and see, or you should take, or come and see me to take a look and to see what's going on within the balance of your methylation pathways, and in particular, what impact it's having on your minerals and amino acid utility throughout the body. For me, Justin McGuire, have an amazing Friday. It's a wonderful day here in South Africa. The sun is shining, a bit cold, but nonetheless, the sun is out. The guns won't be out because it's too damn cold. But I hope you guys have an amazing weekend up there in Europe. I'm here the weather is turning for the better for you guys. And then my fellow comrades here in South Africa, have an amazing day too. From me, Justin McGuire, stay optimized.